I'm John Hanna for CDTV.net here in New York City, and we have Greg Womack, president of Womack Investment Advisors, joining us from Edmond, Oklahoma. Good afternoon, Greg.
Good afternoon, John.
How are you doing today, sir?
We know we're doing good for a Monday.
There you go. That's good. Before we get into this thing, are you getting those robocallers already from political ads that calls you
No.
constantly? Like trying to get you some political advertisement into your home.
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't yet. I don't know. At the house, we may get some, but my wife probably deletes them.
Oh, it's relentless. They call like 3 or 4 times a day.
Uh,
All right, so about the, just wanted to find out whether or not you're getting that from Oklahoma. So, all right, so what do you have for us today, sir?
well, the equity markets seem to take hope from the reports of the plans by the central banks to help ensure liquidity in the financial markets. After the weekend's Greek parliamentary elections, so the large caps of the Dow and the S&P have fared much better than the NASDAQ or the small cap Russell 2000. So last week, year to date, the Dow was up 4.5, NASDAQ still up 10.27, and S&P about 6.7%. The big news, John, was the likelihood of a Greek exit from the Eurozone was reduced as the pro-bailout New Democracy Party won most of the votes in Sunday's elections. So it's now going to try to form a coalition government with another pro-bailout party that received enough votes to give the two parties a majority in the Greek parliament. So the markets are trying to process that today, and on June 18th at 12:30 Eastern Time, the Dow was off about 25 points, but had been much more down previously this morning. The NASDAQ is the winner so far of today's markets move, up about 12 points, and S&P is down just a fraction. Gold is just beneath the break-even point, so it's just down $1 or $2 per ounce. And the Fed, the 10-year Treasury yield continues to edge downward some. As of last Friday, it was 1.6. It's currently about right at just under 1.6. So the euro strengthens a little bit against the dollar. But I think there's still a lot of uncertainty of what's going to come out of Greece. It's still not a slam dunk deal. They still got to form their government to enough members to vote on issues. And, some are thinking, why not let Greece just go and spend the money on countries that are bigger and help those, which would be Spain and Italy, the next two concerns. So, the European Central Bank recommended a more centralized European banking system to counteract this potential consequence of the interdependence between these sovereign nations and banks that have purchased their debt. A system could oversee lenders and provide Europe-wide deposit insurance. So the European Bank is going to be busy over the next week or two trying to determine how to help Greece and these other countries. There's good news and bad news on the U.S. front. The silver lining to a slowing global economy was a drop in consumer prices. The first 2 years are the largest since December of 2008. So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, May's 0.3% decline was largely the result of lower gas prices, not counting food and energy. Prices were up 0.2 for the month and 2.3% higher than last May. Energy costs also helped push down wholesale prices, down 1% in May, leaving the producer price index up less than 1% in a year. According to the Federal Reserve, U.S. industrial production slipped 0.1% in May, though it was 4.7% higher than a year ago. Meanwhile, the Fed's gauge of general manufacturing business conditions in New York regional remained positive with a reading of 2.3, but was 15 points lower than the month before. And the collapse of the housing market helped cut the median net worth U.S. household by almost 40% between 2007 and 2010, according to the Federal Reserve's 2012 study of inflation-adjusted consumer finances. So I've also heard another report that, John, that since 1992, our net worth basically on average has not increased in this country. The average family's net worth has been stagnant since 1992. So pretty much this week ahead, John, is likely to be dominated by reaction to the Greek election results and the European debt situation, including any reaction from G20 leaders and by the Federal Open Market Committee's last meeting before the scheduled expiration of its Operation Twist, the bond buying program. This week we have the Home Builder Survey, which is on 18th. Housing starts on the 19th. And we have the Federal Open Market Committee meeting on the 20th. Home resales and the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Survey on the 21st.
Alrighty. All right. So there you go. That's Greg Womack, president of Womack Investment Advisors, joining us from Edmond, Oklahoma. And I'm John Hanna for CDTV.net.